first to introduce you to my work for those who don't know me. It's broadcast on Canal Plus and on National Geographic worldwide. Take a look. This is close. What is that? This is a dangerous job that you guys are doing, you know? Oh, siente bien. So I'm here today to talk about journalism and social media. Is one a threat to the other? And I think that what's very important is that you hear everyone talk about no one's reading our newspapers anymore. The young generations are not watching TV. So what can we do to change that? And I think it's very important to think about news as three different elements. There's the first element, which is news gathering. Now, gathering the news is obviously an event happens and the cameras run in and they film that stuff. That is a real problem for us in the news media because the social media is there before any of us. I mean, you can see it in Libya, you can see it in Syria, you can see it in Place Tahrir in Egypt, for example. Everyone has a cell phone and then everyone takes a picture. So by the time the news crews get there, we're beat. So I think that's a real problematic area for the news people. However, I think that the two big elements of news that cannot be replaced by social media are investigative journalism, and that's something that costs a lot of money, takes a lot of time. You need people that are professionals, that are trained ethically to deal with that. And that's what we call the fourth power in the business, which is basically in a working democracy, you need these investigative journalism to shed light on these hidden things that people don't want us to see. Now, I'm here today to talk to you about storytelling because that's really what I do, and that's my passion in life. And I think it's my passion because storytelling, in my opinion, is really the first form of entertainment. I mean, 40,000 years ago, when you had Og that came back from hunting, he would sit around the fire and everyone would gather around and listen to a story about the hunting. And you still see it today. I mean, it doesn't matter whether we have TV, 3D, this and that. When you're at a dinner table with some friends and someone has a good story to tell, everyone leans in and listens. So what is the problem right now with storytelling? Well, the problem with news and storytelling is that it's the same old story over and over again. I mean, you wake up in the morning, you turn on the radio, you go to the office, you read the newspaper, then you watch the news on the TV in the evening. It's the same story. And not only is it the same story, but it's told the same way. So I think, let's see, I have some slides. So this is something, obviously, social media, like war, whatever. But yeah, I have to learn how to use this, actually. This was to illustrate the 40,000 years ago. But these are the typical images that you get from the news. War, helicopters, guys with helmets. I mean, nothing looks more like a front line than another front line, right? So what's the point to keep on filming the same events? I mean, for a long time I was a foreign correspondent and I was sent to places like Afghanistan or Iraq. And usually the editors would say, bearded guys, AKs, and something happening. That was pretty much what people want to see. And not only is it what the editors want to see, but it's also when you're a young reporter, got a picture of me here. Yeah. When you're a young reporter, that's what you want to do. You want to put the helmet, you want to have the flak jacket on, you want to tell your girlfriend how cool you are. But the reality is that you're not really saying anything about the people. You're not really saying anything new about the story. I mean, the news has become the Weather Channel of death. So, for example, tomorrow in Syria, near Aleppo, we're expecting about 20 people to die. A little bit lower, another 30 will die in a car bomb. I mean, who cares? And Stalin had this great quote, at least it's attributed to him, the death of one person is a tragedy. The death of millions is a statistic. And I think that that's really what the news media today is about. We're more about statistics, about macro stuff, and we've forgotten to talk about what people are and what they are about. And I think that if we stop focusing on the 1% of those countries, the 1% that carry the AKs and make the headlines, you'll discover that there's 99% of the stories that we have not told. The world is not black or white. It's not good guys or bad guys. It's really 50 Shades of Grey. No, actually, that's a good title for a book. I should write it. Anyway, this is what I'm interested in. I'm interested in details, pictures and people that tell the story beyond the news headlines. This is in Congo, so when you talk about sharing on Facebook something, here you get something much more specific about sharing. And now I'd like to show you a little video. This is in Pakistan. Now everyone has these. When you say Pakistan, you see obviously the same old bearded guys that we've seen for almost 15 years now on TV. But if you look at stories and you go see them and you go find the stories that talk to people directly. We were talking about curiosity earlier, and that's really what it is. It's curiosity, it's empathy, it's sympathy. That is what makes us human beings, is our ability to be empathetic towards others. If you just say that there's 100,000 people who died, it's a tragedy, but, it's not my problem. But if you can touch them in a way, it makes it stronger. I'll let you watch this.
The following day, I have a meeting with Musrat Misbah, the owner of Pakistan's largest chain of beauty salons. Once inside, you could be in London, Paris, or New York. I mean, the clientele, the models, the products, everything is top-notch. But the hairdressers and makeup artists are special. They've all been disfigured by acid thrown at them by a husband, a father, or a brother.
What is this place?
This is our salon. This is where my girls are working. These are the girls who had the intentional acid throwing on them, or they were burnt. So they are now working.
So the girls that you fix up, then they come and work for you, right?
Yes. I mean, this is what they want to become. They wanted to become beauticians and hairdresser. So Sarah is one good hairdresser. And then, she's very popular amongst the client now.
And so how did you get the idea of doing all this? How did it start?
It just happened one day. There was this girl who came in and
In your salon?
in my salon, and she was wearing a veil. So she said, "I need your help," and I said, "Okay." I said, "What can I do?" And she, unveiled herself. And I was standing and I thought, there's no life in my legs. I sat down because I saw a woman without a face. I saw this young girl who had nothing on her face. I said, okay, all right. I said, yeah, I will definitely help you. Then,
Now, in this story, you see the impact of the story. Now, there are many ways of doing this story. You can go to the hospital where there are 200 of these women lying on hospital beds. But then how does it talk to people who are in the first world? I mean, the people who watch this program, and it's a little bit like the arenas of Rome. We in the first world are sitting down, and we are watching people from the third world kill themselves, or the tragedies happening to them. And it's kind of exciting, but the reality is that we can switch it off. Now, the reason why I chose this example is because where do I go? I go to a beauty salon. Now, we all know what it is to go and get your hair cut or get your makeup done. So the idea is to turn the tables on people, to put them in a comfortable setting that they think they know, and then show them how different the setting can be. I had a story in Iraq, and I went to dry cleaners, and the guy takes me to the back of his dry cleaner, and it's a big room like this with 1,500 pieces of clothing. I pick some out. There's some kids' stuff, some women's stuff, some clerics, dry cleaners. But I see that there's a light sheen of dust on the plastic that covers it. And I asked the guy, I said, why is it dusty here? He says, well, these are all the people that dropped off their clothes but never came back to get them. And I think that that's what the strength of a story is to put people in a situation they can imagine themselves in, and then show them how tragic and how serious the conditions are. So the idea fundamentally is that if we focus on people, if we focus on what makes them tilt, you'd have to take time. You can't do that in 5 minutes. And that's the problem with a lot of news organizations today. They come in, they've just landed off the plane, literally. They have to do a live shot. They don't even know what happened, or else they're in the hotel all day. So you need the time to go and find these stories and to go meet these people that have incredible stories to tell us. And basically, I think that what I'm trying to say here is that we need to get out of our virtual world. And I think that a lot of this young generation today is, with their Facebook and their Twitter and so on and so forth, because the images that come to us from the world are so horrible, so hopeless, that it is important to show them that the world is not what they see on TV, that it's much broader, much more incredible, with a whole bunch of people who are doing things to change, And I think that it doesn't, you can have 100,000 followers on Twitter and you can have 1 million likes on Facebook. It won't change the world. I mean, that's what I chose this career as a journalist, is to really try to make a difference. And by making the difference is by being this avatar. Now, you saw me in the introduction slide, I'm all smiling and all like playing it up and so on and so forth. But my job really is to take you into incredible places to meet incredible people. And the only way we will change our world is if we come out of our virtual, and I love virtual, I have no problem with it, but we can't only be virtual. Virtual does not change things. Real stuff changes stuff. So that's the message today. That's how I think that, and also don't take yourself seriously. That's very important. That's the thing. I think we need to move out of the virtual world. If we want to affect change tomorrow, we have to get out there, put our hands into the real world and try to change it and to mold it into a better place. There you have it.